Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Dean, and here we are. Here is everybody. Oh, I pressed the wrong button already. I'm fucking the whole thing up already. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. When you're taking this in, you're listening to our podcast. My name is Dean. You can get us on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, etc. You can also get us on YouTube, Dean Blundell Show on YouTube. And you're right, I am not Rook. Let me just change that name. I'm Dean. Dean is my name. There we go. How's that, gentlemen? Welcome to the program. Let's say hello to our guest / host. That is Lochlin Cross. He's the morning show radio host at 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton daily, every single weekday in the morning. Hosts the Locker Room. You can find him at Lochlin Cross on Twitter.
25-year plus broadcaster.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that today. It's his 25th year in radio.
Yeah. Actually, it's the 28th. But
you only count
thrown into the 25th because I wouldn't fill out the paperwork, and finally somebody just did it for me.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll get to that coming up in a minute. That's Lochlin Cross, and of course Ryan Lindley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. Good to see everybody. At Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Subscribe to his podcast as well. It's very good. He and his wife Ashley do a nice job. We got a lot going on today. We're going to talk about mixed weight relationships. May have heard of them. Lachlan's got a bunch of stuff he wants to get to, including soft swinging. I think he's going to propose something to the wife to spice things up, which is nice. And we'll deal with that later on today. We've got Lauren Boebert to talk about. Apparently, she used to be a high-priced call girl. We talked about it because it broke on this show yesterday. Yeah, I know, high-priced. Have you seen her? This is like medium price, or more like lower end of the scale price. But whatever. She's also had a couple of abortions, both of which I don't care about. Like, that's part of the story everybody's losing their mind over. I don't care. In fact, I'm happy she had abortions. I'm happy she was making money as a young lady out there going, if the stories are true. But we'll get to the hypocrisy of it and a whole bunch of other stuff.
It's the hypocrisy that people are upset about.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? A lot of people with the Lauren Boebert stuff and be like, the hypocrisy is the worst part. I'm like, betcha the abortion sucked too.
Betcha. I'm glad it was two less Boeberts
running
around. So
yeah. We don't need more of those people. Exactly. But yesterday, Locke, you wanted to talk about this. I didn't know if I did just because I didn't really care. Like, someone told me about it last night, and I'm like, I don't know. But we started to trend. What time last night do you think that was, Linz? Because we couldn't figure it out.
It was about 7. Actually, it was right after the show yesterday. I think it was just after.
It was this morning too.
Yeah, it did bleed into this morning, but it started
in the 5 a.m. hour.
It started after I believe reporter Justin Ling put a story out about the Klondike papers, and then it spiraled into other things, other articles that we had put out in the last little bit, including, like, there was articles floating around yesterday in the trend from fucking months ago. Like, I was like, I remember that story.
Which articles?
Reading that. Like,
Which
the
ones?
convoy stuff. There was like some stuff that you'd written, like just weird, like random shit. It was it was bizarre.
Showing up a little bit too. He's still on
the scene trying to make something happen, is he?
He's trying to suck the farts every time. It's so funny. And
he is a fart huffer, yeah, big time.
Oh, yeah, because he uses anything that's trending, he'll use that in the whatever he writes about, right? So your name was in there. He did something about something that had nothing to do with it.
All his polls this morning had a good laugh.
Do you
think pedophiles like Dean Blundell should be in jail for life? And then the next one is, do you think pedophiles like Dean Blundell should be shot?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
And the only reason why he does that is because your name is trending. So it catches onto a trend and it boosts his numbers. So
makes me laugh.
So fucking weird.
Good for him.
Makes me laugh. That was a great example because, like, it was funny because last night, sitting there watching the Blue Jays game, they lost 6-5, by the way. Nice little run at the end. They couldn't kind of get it done.
Yeah.
I've got problems with Kikuchi too. You say Kikuchi, major problems with him. He's either fucking really good or he's just garbage. Anyway, I don't want to get into Blue Jays talk. So I'm sitting there watching the Jays game. I'm kind of taking a mental break because I had a lot of screen time. I think 14 hours a day was my last check. I'm like, I need a break. So I'm watching the baseball game, and all of a sudden I'm like, ding, ding. And I'm like, fuck, I turned my notifications on because I was expecting a call from one of my kids yesterday. So my notifications were on. And I was starting to come down with something, like I got a sore throat today. So I was just taking it easy. And then I go on, and it's like, bang, bang, you're trending. What is this? And it's like trending in Canada. I'm like, I don't know. Fuck, I didn't even, I couldn't, well, there you go. Yeah. And that was, then I started getting those like people, like my family, my mom, she's like, what did you do? And I'm like, I don't know, Ma. I have fucking no idea. She called me. She's like, I'm on the Twitter and I can see your name everywhere. Every time I open it up, it says Dean Blundell trending in Canada. And I'm like, Mom, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. All I can tell you is that
pedophile stuff.
We've been on a bit of a heater recently. Yeah. Oh, and because of that, the conservative crowd, the evangelicals, the QAnons, the crazies, the bots, and it was a fucking full-on fest last night.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody tagged me because nothing showed up in my timeline because they're all fucking petrified of me for some reason, like literally fucking petrified. So guys like this Lipinski dude, he gets in there, he gets in the mix, and he starts sharing stories anytime I'm trending about me being a pedophile, which, by the way, Mark, just so you know, we save all those stories. And you're going to get a knock at the door one day from a legal professional, and you're going to be in a lot of fucking trouble. It's already in the works, and I'm looking forward to it. So keep it up, because each time you do it, it's more of whatever you don't have coming my way, just so you know. So anyway, long story short, and he is such a piece of shit. He's just this little evil piece of shit. But he like preys on the bots, and he's kind of like one of their little agents. But long story short, we couldn't figure it out last night, other than the fact that I think this Klondike paper stuff has some legs to it, that because we're seeing a few different people come out of the woodwork and go, I've looked into it. I don't really respect the value of the people that are talking about it, like the David Wallaces and the Nathan Jacobsons. However, there's something here, right? Which is kind of like the general feeling that I think a lot of different people have. And if you're not a lawyer or an investigative journalist, you have no way of going through these. Like these, it's like 7,000-8,000 pages of mung, literal, just all kinds of shit. 6 gigs, is that what it is?
6 gigs of data and videos and pictures and documents. It's fucking huge, and it's
massive.
It's scattered. It's like watching like a brilliant savant just trying to do its work. Before it becomes something. It's that process. It's like the beginning part of that process right now, and it's like I've gone through it, and it's a fucking mess.
Staggering.
I want nothing to do with it. Do not fucking send it to me. You dicks, keep that shit to yourself. Honestly.
It's
I don't either. And I got to tell you, it's funny because like none of this stuff bothers me because we've been fucking like we put it on Front Street. The second we started talking about this, it was because David Wallace, who we had on to talk about this press progress story, dropped like 3 massive bombs at the start of our interview last week or 2 weeks ago with him, and where he told us about it, and we're like, "Fuck, what is this thing? Explain it." And he's like, well, here it is. It's all these receipts I have for all the stuff that I've done over X amount of years, and these guys are named in it and all this other stuff.
For that?
It was like 2 weeks ago. I put it in a post today. You can go read it at deanblundell.com. I think the title of the piece
People
is
should go back and watch that pod.
Here's
the
the
first
deal
one with Wallace.
Yeah. Yeah, your reaction, by the way, is like the best. You're like, no way!
Yeah, no. Lochlin.
I was doing
Lochlin.
I just want to go home.
Lochlin, are you guys listening to this podcast?
Yeah, dude. It's at deanblundell.com. There's an article that says, here's my take on these Klondike papers. And Justin Ling, who's a venerable reporter for a bunch of different outlets, blogged about it on his blog yesterday. A lot of people took offense to it because he took a couple of little side swipes at us. But fuck, that's what he does. It's his opinion. I could care less. And he's going to join James.
At you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Us and the network and James. Nothing bad. Just like, these guys. One of the things he said, it was funny. He's like, these guys are trying to use right-wing tactics in a left-wing media startup. And I'm like, that's the fucking weirdest thing I've ever heard. I just like the funny content and the good shit, and these are great stories. And we're trying to converse about it, and we wanted to put David on specifically, which we said about 800 times in the show, specifically to fucking suss this out, to see where he's at, to see if he's telling the truth, right? And we don't know. Like, we take certain things.
Some strategy behind things.
Oh, because we're fucked in the head. It's the way we are.
They're looking.
Yeah.
They're looking for they're looking for like I was saying to Dean today, the juxtaposition to the right-wing rebel news. Yeah. So obviously they think as soon as they hear, we're not talking about water turning the frogs gay and false flag shootings at schools like Alex Jones. This is like don't get me wrong, it does seem conspiratorial. Like it does have that feel obviously to it because it's so out there. But it is backed up by actual documents. We just don't know we don't know about them. So we're just, like Dean said, we put them out and said, you guys figure it out. We're just here to talk about it. They're out there. Let's talk about what's out there. And I think they're just trying to find a yin to the yang. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, but it didn't work last night because I think in the trending thing, because this is what we have said the entire time that we've talked about David Wallace and Doug Ford and the Klondike Papers and everything that went into this, because I look at it in two different ways. All I said was, hey, we're going to go down the road and see if this guy's telling the truth. We in no way co-sign or endorse anything he's saying as fact. I said that time and time and time again. I've noted the fact that he has a terrible fucking reputation and he used to invent strategies and conspiracies for a living as a job, as a fixer. So me believing him ad hoc is never going to happen. Like never. Him or Nathan. Never going to happen unless I have definitive proof that the things that they are saying are factual. And I cannot do that. And because the job of going through all of these receipts is better left to better people than me. I've said this so many times. And I'll say it again, and I wrote a huge piece about it saying, here's my take on these Klondike Papers. I've said it 1,000 times. I am not a news person. We are not investigative journalists. We run a podcast network. We do a blog. We talk about the news, and then we go and talk to the people making the news, and then we present the information in a fun, interesting way so that you can decide what you think is true and what you think isn't based on those receipts. But in no way, and this needs to be said, have I ever gone out of my way to perpetrate a fucking rumor or make something up? Never. That is fucking the weirdest shit ever. So the suggestion that we're trying to make stuff up to be a left wing whatever, or we're like alt-right slayers, or we've got the goods, we don't. Nobody has the goods about these. Not one person has the goods about these Klondike Papers other than David and maybe Nathan and this guy, Richard Marshall. They're putting them together. And Justin Ling is going to join James and Ryan and Nathan and David tonight, and they're going to ask the questions because I'm in the same boat everyone else is out there going, release the papers. I'm like, dude, I don't have them anymore. And B, if I did have them and I've looked at enough of it to go, there's something here, but it really kind of resonates around religious extremism and overtly political churches doing dumb shit. And everything that's outside of that, I can't speak to whether or not it was criminality, but I can tell you this. There's no religious cabal. There's no fucking massive conspiracy movement. This is just churches that want certain things, that have done terrible things in the past, that continue to, from these receipts that David has given us that I can vouch for, continue to operate in a very questionable manner in and amongst citizens in this country to get whatever it is that they want out of this, which appears to be money and influence. So from there, you're going to be able to go out and you're going to be able to stem what issues are real, what aren't. And that's better left to other people like lawyers and stuff to decide. But when you see everything that's in it, it is impossible to say these papers are 100% correct because it's literally like an evidence dump, right? It's literally like David has said, you know what? This is my take. It's like David has said, you know what? I'm in trouble, or I need to get back at somebody, or whatever the issue is. I've got some really legitimate things, and I've got some other stuff that might not be. Let's throw the whole fucking kitchen sink out there and see what sticks. That is what this appears to be to me. And inside that, there are some very legitimate issues that should probably be looked at that have to do with religious extremism in this country, and the names and the people that are involved should be investigated, or people need to go down that road to figure it out.
With ties to the U.S. too, which is worth saying. There seems to be a lot of connection there. Can I say this out loud?
Yeah.
I think if anybody wants to accuse us of doing one thing or another on this podcast, they are not regular listeners. Because what we do is we take stuff that interests us, that intrigues us, and we bring it to this, and we talk about it openly. So it doesn't matter everybody wants to put everybody in sides or camps. We need to stop doing that.
Right.
This is not a left-wing pod. I wouldn't fucking be on this thing if it was a left-wing podcast. Trust me. I eat meat. I hate vegans.
Me too.
So the thing about it,
Green Party.
The way I look at it
agree.
is, and this is why I've chastised Dean about this, is that we're not going to not talk about something because of some belief structure that we have, right?
Or because we're afraid of people that might think that the opposite of what we're talking about. We're going to talk about something because it's got merit and we want to know about it.
The Wee charity scandal, we talked about that, right? Like, I mean,
endlessly.
We're not necessarily going to avoid a topic because of politics.
Right.
Like, and that's what's annoying me about this Connor McDavid video. Not that we need to get down that path again, but there's sports outlets that are blatantly ignoring even mentioning it, right? Or trying to come up with excuses for what it is. We're not going to do that. Now, if we go on here and we say something and we fuck up, we'll come back on the next day and we'll correct ourselves.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, listen, and here's the thing is that I have done that
times.
Let me finish, because I've chastised you about this. And because I feel like that was always the motive, I'm still against your policy of shutting the door on all politicians.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you're gonna have that kind of a policy, then you should be open to having a discussion with somebody from any side, including politicians. And this is coming from somebody that hates all politics.
Right. Yeah, I know. And I would challenge you to say that as nice as that sounds, that we should open it up. I'd rather fucking legitimately sit in an ice bath for an hour than talk to someone who's going to talk about their political party and their cult, because they're cults to me. They're business centers. Like, I'm going to get, because listen, if I know that these guys are like legitimate, they're just businesses. The political parties are businesses. Yeah. Do we want to help that business do better? Do we want to help a bunch of liars have a better business? I don't.
Everyone's got a motive.
Yeah.
And we can't always tell if somebody's telling the truth. We're talking about these Klondike papers. You're trending across the country. Your name is because of the attachment that people have put to the Klondike papers to your name.
Yeah.
And they might be total bullshit. It might all be completely fake. That didn't stop us from
talking
to the people that dumped that information on the world.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Just keep in mind that every once in a while, if an opportunity to speak to a politician that you haven't completely pissed off or completely
upset,
ostracized,
we find that list.
Yes, then we should take that opportunity and do that.
Yeah.
Like, let's say old Cheesecake Ford decided to come on or asked to come on.
I have the
Let's have 'em
comprehensive
on.
list right here. The politicians that Dean hasn't.
That's a very blank page. Yeah. Maybe. Listen, I never want to write anything off, but I will say this: is that there's a quote, and I love philosophy, and I love values, and I love courage and wisdom and temperance and grace. I'm a practicing Stoic. I love the idea of philosophy and the fact that people's values should dictate exactly how they should live their life, not a fucking political party or an ideology. It's just values. That's all it is. Virtues, all that stuff. Exactly.
Do I have to shit in a glass again?
No, you don't. But I will say this, is that it's very difficult for me in all of these things, which is why when we write stuff, I'm like, if I'm wrong, if we've messed up, if we've gone too far, and there's like an opportunity for us to say, let's reflect and decide if we've done too much, we're the first people to say, and I've done it lots because I'm fucking human. We all are. We're the first people to go, you know what, we're wrong. And so because of that, we take great pride when we're having fun, when we're delivering this content and entertainment, when we're talking about things that nobody else will talk about because they're too afraid that someone's going to come after them legally, is we take great pride in approaching those stories in a way where we're not that group. We're not those people. We're not taking a side. All we're trying to do is get the information and talk about how fucking unbelievable some of these stories are, because they are. Like everything in David Wallace's testimony, everything in those documents, everything says is so fantastical that I couldn't not say no to fucking finding out what this guy was all about, because it's a crazy lifestyle that everybody's like fixer. What's a fixer? So we're like, okay, let's get a fixer on and talk about what fixing is. And then let's talk about some of his relationships, talk about where some of these receipts came from, talk about why he's in Calgary, and take it all with a grain of salt and say, okay, well, listen, this guy just gave us a story. We're not co-signing it because we don't know. We don't have that information. And you can't do it unless you do have that information, unless it is vetted. So for every single person out there, because there's a real need that a lot of people have on the left to be able to compete with the fucking crazies and the wieners on the right, like the extremists, because lefty extremists are not as good as righty extremists in using subterfuge to get their shit across, right? They're just not.
Correct.
So all the people on the left are going, give us more, no, because I don't know if it's real and I'm not qualified to do it. Number one. Number two, if we're wrong, the consequences go far past what a legal consequence might be. Like if we post something and some poor person's name or address or phone number is in there, my God, we can't do that to individuals.
Ruin somebody's life.
And even some of the people that David's talked about, Jerry Shapur or Alan Hallman or any of these guys, Jason Kenney, Jonathan Dennis, all these guys that have huge profiles, I can only tell you that obviously these guys are really good lawyers and they probably work for a company and clients where there's lawyer crime. And I highly doubt they did anything illegal. I'm not in no way are we ever suggesting that there's this illegal cabal of different fucking wackos that are running around doing stuff. And we're not the left of QAnon, as Justin Ling said. I kind of took issue with that, but whatever. I could care less. All we wanted to do was get the story and still want the story. And we're still going to chase it down. And if there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
And however, there is
exactly. However, there is, according to a whole bunch of people that are writing about it now, like the Justin Lings, there is cause for concern here. And there's some dirty shit in these papers that need to be answered. And there's some evidence that needs to be brought forward from the other people. But fuck, we don't just believe people for the story so we can drive a narrative. That's what the fucking losers do. That's what Pierre's doing. And to a lesser extent, that's what Justin Trudeau does too. By and large, with his whole, oh, these are fucking fringe people, minorities, this and that. Dude, all it is just adds to the confusion and the bullshit. So we'll deliver the information as best we get it from people. And if they're not telling the truth, fuck, sewer them. I could care less. It doesn't matter to me, but wait for the fucking truth to come out. Wait for good people to actually do the research before you're like, give me what I need to and reinforce my fucking narrative. Yeah. Oh, and we're not those good people.
We're not the news. Like people, like they're pinning it on us like we're spinning some sort of Fox News fucking weird shit. It's like we're not the news.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. They're also embarrassed that they didn't have the balls to do it because it was in their inboxes months ago.
And this was my point yesterday when
our plates, and then we went for it. Right.
That was my point in my when I refuted Justin Ling, because I respect the guy. I think he did like his coverage of the convoy was fucking spot on. It was great. Awesome fucking reporter. But when he took the shots that he did, I kind of asked the question, well, it's funny how this is on your personal blog and not on any of the mainstream channels that you write for. Because I don't know if I'd like to find out if they've been directed not to. I wonder if he'll answer that question honestly. I don't know if he would, but I just think like it was very unfair the swipe of the fact that they think that we're some sort of like media startup. I said in my tweet, where do you find that? Where's our crowdsourcing? Like Rebel, every time you turn around, Rebel has a new crowdfunding thing up because they need money for something. I said, where's ours between the fart jokes and the sports reports? We don't do that. We're not a news place. We're not here to take anybody's money. When we take money, what do? We send it to fucking Ukraine, or we give you a fucking funny T-shirt. Like
part of this too. You bring up a great point, but part of this too is that there's two things that are at play that a lot of people don't know about. One of them is that it's gonna kill people to go.
Yeah,
it was on their network,
and fucking Gene Blundell was right. I guarantee you that'll be the hardest thing for people to say.
Oh, yeah. It'll be so hard. And the same thing. So yesterday, I got information that there's a deal in place for Johnny Gaudreau for the Flames. It was like 8 years, $9.5 million a year.
Why?
Yeah. And I literally have like digital proof. And I won't post it. I sent it actually to a hockey insider, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want to get him in trouble. But it was like a piece of paper that I probably shouldn't have. Right? Yeah. Like it's just a screenshot of a piece of paper and from a video that I've watched that I probably shouldn't have watched, but it was shared with me. Right. And I was like, fuck, you know, do I go after people that are telling me I'm full of shit, or do I just let them have their fun, right? Because it doesn't matter to me. Like, literally doesn't matter to me. I don't care what people say. I don't care if they think I'm right or if I'm wrong. And I'll wait. I'll wait like everybody else will, because I want the truth and I want accountability and all the other things that come with living a good life. That's it. And so when we talk about things that are late breaking or news breaking, we're not doing it for attention. We're not. Is it a click farm? Yeah. Do we know how to do that? For sure. Part of this whole thing is getting people to look at your shit. But if I wanted people to look at my shit, I would have included the screenshot with the definitive proof that Johnny Gaudreau is getting ready to sign in Calgary for the next 8 years, as opposed to just go, whatever. Like, we don't need the accolades. I don't want to be at the front of the line for this. In fact, I don't want the Klondike papers to be true. I really don't.
We both said this on the phone today.
I don't want any of it to be real. I want it all to be a lie. I'd love to go, hey, fuck, remember that guy David had on? He's fucking crazy as a shithouse rat. I don't know that he is. I don't know that he isn't. All I know is that CBC did a couple of stories with him in it, with the same people involved, with this guy Jonathan Dennis, who is the Queen's Park guy, I think, or the QC out in Alberta. And yeah, dude, there's like a full. Oh no, there's a bunch of stories out there that are legitimate news stories that are involved in this stuff, and now all of a sudden it's radio silence for some reason. We don't know why. I don't know if MSM is not picking this up and if they're doing it on purpose. I can't speak to that. I can't say that this is embargoed. I can't say that the stories have been banned. I don't know. You'll have to ask them. Well, we can suspect all we want, but that doesn't help either. But that's all I know is that it's there. We're talking about it because I think it's fucking fascinating. Got spy shit in there, which interests me too, right? Interests everybody. And here we are. That's it. That's all I know. Literally, I know as much as everybody else does at this point because A, I'm too lazy to go through all those papers, and B, I don't have them anymore. I was like, fuck, really? 7 gigs, 6 gigs?
Yeah.
No, thanks. I don't even want to start. I just like flipped through a few things and went, ooh. Saw some email addresses that I know, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Lochlin, I'm like, get that away from me. Get that over to these guys. And so we gave it to law enforcement, or not law enforcement. We gave it to some legal folks, lawyers that we trust, and we gave it to some journalists that we trust. Well, I didn't. Some other people with us did, but I was like not interested in it because it's like, fuck, I don't know if it's real and I don't have the time to fucking go through it. I'm interested in the craziness, and there is a lot of craziness, and some of the craziness seems to be somewhat legit. So we'll figure out how legit. Yeah. Does that make sense?
We'll keep it.
I think so. It was well said.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's all it is.
Everything we do here it's all about the conversation because we have such a different, diverse panel of people when it comes to opinions. I'm not saying, over 40 white guys, but at least the opinions are different. Can
I share with you guys a different conspiracy, though? Yeah, that's what we do. Totally. And I love it. I love the content, the conversation, and all the weird shit that comes with. Can I share with you guys a different conspiracy theory I'm kind of into? Have you guys seen Ryan Gosling as Ken for the new Barbie movie with Margot Robbie? Have you seen this?
Did that come out?
Yeah. No, I saw the picture of him, though.
Yeah.
I do not need to see this.
I don't... Listen, I'm not saying that I'm not saying this is me, but this is basically me, right? That's basically me.
Oh, really?
Ryan Gosling, yeah, in denim. Right? Like, look at the hair, the look, the nationality. I'd have to maybe do up the vest if it would do up, but that's me. Guys, that's me.
No.
Is that not me?
Lochlin.
Well, if you're just leaning on the white hair thing, maybe.
Same.
Right?
Holy fuck.
Goslin?
That's not you.
Blundell.
It's the same picture.
Goslin?
Yeah.
Blundell.
No.
Pretty close. Like the hair part is in the same space. He's got that same physique. He's got he's got denim on. I like denim. He's Canadian. This guy's Canadian. I'm telling you.
Is Ryan Gosling Canadian too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's very Canadian. Yeah, he's from like Hamilton. I think he's from Binbrook.
Serious?
Burlington, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Why are all the Ryans from Canada?
I don't know.
Because that's where we make them.
They just are. They just are.
He's a good-looking bloke. I think you're stretching a bit here. I'm going to be honest with you, but yeah.
Right? Can you not
don't
see
wanna
it?
be Ken anyway. Ken doesn't
No.
have a dick.
That's true. Be a eunuch.
I'll watch that, by the way, the new Ken and Barbie movie. I will watch
Why?
that. I don't
What is
know.
it? And did you see the picture of Margot Robbie?
Yeah, smoke. Yeah,
Okay,
she's
let's
still
see that.
Margot Robbie is Barbie. Have you not seen that?
Oh,
No.
This new Ken and Barbie movie
Yeah,
coming
she's
out.
got like the little
We
pink
talked about it,
convertible.
but I haven't
Yeah.
seen any pictures.
She's got those. There's a promo piece out there with her in the pink convertible somewhere. I think that's what the one I saw.
She's an absolute smoke show, and not only that, she's a great actress as well.
Unbelievably
really good
talented.
Like,
Yeah.
she's a wicked actress. Like when you watch her, you forget that she's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're watching Sandra Bullock, you're watching Sandra Bullock. And I don't
Yeah.
dislike Sandra Bullock, but it's always Sandra Bullock. Margot
makes sense.
Robbie is
Like I had
not
no idea Margot Robbie was in The
ever.
Wolf of Wall Street until like 2 years after I watched The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm like, oh my god, that was
That's
her,
a perfect example.
right? Like, look at that. There's me, Margot Robbie, me,
Yeah.
Margot Robbie, right?
Yeah.
I see it. I can't not see it.
It's
Dean, before we go on the
uncanny.
air, if you need stuff like this in your life, you should let Linz and I know so that we can be more on board.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
You
sorry.
can't
I
just-
was.
You can't just hit us with this.
I
and
apologize.
Expect us to play along.
I apologize because prior to the show, I found out today, like literally before the show, he's like, "Hey, can we talk about soft lock?" He's like, "Can we talk about soft swapping and soft docking?" Because I'm thinking of asking the wife to
No,
bring another
I
person into the
never said
relationship.
soft
It was something
docking.
like that. It was something
Soaking.
like that.
You're gonna soak
Yeah, it was like a soft soak.
with the.
So
soaking.
soft swinging and soft swapping
Yeah.
has been in the news lately.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that got highlighted in a New York Post article within the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a couple of that admitted that they're doing this, and I had never heard the term. I also read something about this TikTok group. They're Mormons and
Yeah.
they dance.
Yep.
And somebody in that group admitted that they're soft swingers into soft swapping.
The docking,
And so
that's it.
I said to Grant, I said, is this a new term? And we started to talk about it on the air because we don't know much about it. All we know is what was in that Post article. And basically it's swinging, but there's no you don't do the deed. Like there's
No penetration.
yeah, you go into a room with
You
your
don't move it.
couple, like the whatever group, and I don't know, you dry hump or kiss or fondle. I think there's some handies. I don't know if you're allowed to put a mouth on anything. Like I don't know what all the rules are. So we were talking about that on the air today, and we had this woman call up, and she's in this lifestyle.
Soft swinging
And-
or full swinging lifestyle?
She's in a polyamorous, which is
Soft swinging,
Well-
she said. I heard the interview on the way home today. Yeah, she was
Polyamory is when you have a relationship where, like, let's say a guy has two women that live with him, or a woman has two guys that live with her, or vice versa. Lots of amory, love, lots of love. That's what she's into. Good for her. All right,
yes.
a lot going on, but I could do it.
She's been in. That's
soft.
what
Polly
I
wants more than
said.
crack.
Too much. Yeah, too much going on.
That's exactly what
So
I
much work.
said. You know what I have enough trouble communicating with the one. Like, imagine trying to work out all of the ins and outs of more than one relationship. I do
No, thank
not
you.
have it in me at all.
I don't get
takes
guys
away-
that have entire families on the side. Like it makes no it's like, what, are you
That's-
fucking nuts?
Want more
is
of that in your
that's-
life? Yeah,
Linz, that's clinically insane.
It
yeah,
is.
stupidity.
If you have more than two kids or more than two partners at any given time, you're clinically insane.
There's something wrong with you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my theory. Anybody who can put more than two kids out in the world is nuts.
Yeah.
Anyone that's trying to maintain more than a couple of relationships at one time, that like you're just a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a fucking legitimate idiot. Like, I'm like completely the opposite. Where I want so little of that. I'm not in a relationship, so it's very different, right? But the idea, and I remember I used to say this to my ex-wife all the time. She's like, "You're having another relationship." I'm like, "I don't want more of this. You fucking insane? You think I want to have a girlfriend and a wife? You're nuts. Like, you are fucking crazy if you think I want to balance two of you. out there. Like, there's no way I'm doing it. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, oh, trust me, it makes a lot of sense. I don't want to have to balance the expectations of two people. I don't want to have to figure out the expectations of two different people, all that stuff. So good for this lady for being into polyamory, because you got to be a multitasker and you got to be able to put up with all kinds of stress that most normal people can't. That's my opinion.
That's exactly. To me, it's not worth the stress.
No.
I mean, I obviously, listen, maybe they have more sex than I do, right? But I mean, here's at the end of the day, is that the payoff? An extra handy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Feels different.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. Just sit on it. Just sit on it and make it fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold your hand in the air. Hold your hand in the air for an hour and then just go for it. And you're like, that's crazy. I can't even feel that.
I don't even know who that is. It's Margot Robbie.
The friendly stranger. That's what they call it.
Ryan Gosling
the neighbor.
With the reach around.
We call it the neighbor. Oh, I got a hand job from the neighbor. My left hand. But yeah, so like, what is your issue with it? Like, do you not understand what soft swapping is, or is it just one of those things where you're like,
I never heard of it until the last couple of,
how did she describe soft docking? Did she tell you what soft docking is?
No, we did not talk about docking. See, I wanted to get more into it, but I got the sense that Haley didn't really want to. She wanted to cover the basics of that world, and if I would have kept her on the air or like on the phone longer, I probably would have gotten into, all right, like, how does it work? Is a blowy too far?
You think it is? I think the P can rest on the V. I think the P can be in the H, the hand. The second the P goes inside the M, the V, or the B, that's when it's real swinging, right? But I think if there's like, what do they call it? Dry humping, I think is one of the things that they call it. I believe that is soft docking, from my understanding. If that is the explanation that I got.
Soft docking.
That's
not a thing.
It is a thing, but it's the religious people. It's those Mormons that jump into a bed.
It is.
I swear to God, Lochlin, I'll send you the thing. They put it in.
Do not send me an example of soft docking.
I'm sending it to you right now. That and Two Girls, One Cup. You got to see this video.
They put it in and they don't do anything. They don't move it. That's what it is. It's called soaking. They call it soaking, and it's the same as soft docking. It's just a different term where they just put it in and sit there. And there's no.
So is the whole thing like the idea? Like, it only becomes cheating if you start moving back and forth? Is that
it's
the deal?
Not even cheating. It's being pure to God, apparently, in their mind, because they change the goalposts every fucking week, right?
Sure.
So, yeah. And that's what we watched. Ashley and I watched something. It was about kids. It was about like the teenagers in these cults and these that are involved, that are trying to get away with it somehow. If I can't remember if it was Mormon, she might remember. If she's listening, she can pop it in. But it was pop it in. Just don't move it. Yeah.
So I'm allowed. I'm allowed to put it in someone's mouth. I just can't.
Move it around.
You can't do anything with it while it's there.
That makes more sense if that's called soaking.
It would be like imagine like they jump into bed, they spoon, he slides her on home, and then just lays there.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like sex to me. That seems like that should be allowed in the Mormon faith or the Mormon swinging circles. Is it?
I swear, Father, I swear,
I just put it in.
Fell into her.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just fell in there. I didn't push. I stayed still the whole time. And the Reverend's like, "But did you?" He's like, "I swear. I was like a mime.
I didn't move.
I didn't do anything wrong. Well, as long as you didn't thrust, you're okay." Yeah, that's literally a thing, Locke, in those Mormon swinging groups. Because I read a whole thing on it. This woman named Taylor Paul, we had her stuff on the show. Remember a couple weeks ago?
This has been around for a while.
She was like this Mormon influencer. No, it's been around for a long time. It's like it's almost like it's like religion's got this way, and it's huge in a bunch of religious circles. It's got this way of going, okay, listen, you can do this, but don't go all the way, because it has to have some control over your life, I guess, in some capacity. I don't know. But my theory is the second the P touches any part of another human being, that's probably cheating. That's just how I feel.
I have to agree.
Well, here's the thing, and I get this side of it, right? And Haley, when we talked to her about her lifestyle, she made a good point. And again, I think you make these decisions based if you're comfortable dealing with the amount of work and communication that it would take to add another partner or multiple partners to your life, then the benefits, I think, are that, right? Like this bloke, Jerry does this for me. Ryan does this for me. Billy does this for me. Right. And then
like one guy would be the butt, another guy would be the front, another guy would be up here.
It's not
like
all
that'd
sexual, right?
Okay,
she was talking about one of her friends, one of her in the polyamorous world that she lives in, likes live music like she does. They go to concerts together, but they're not intimate, right? So maybe she's intimate with hold
it. So she is it really polyamory if there's like guys that she is in a relationship with, but she doesn't have sex with them? Isn't that just a friend?
They're deciding what it is. If they've decided that what it is, then it's fine. We always go there when we have conversations like this because that's where our minds go, right?
It sounds like two people that got caught cheating that are trying to make excuses for themselves is what it sounds like.
It's just polyamory. I swear to God.
Let's just do this. Let's just fuck other people. Everything will be fine. As long as we know and we're honest with each other about it, honey.
That's true.
That's what we're going to do.
Have you guys heard about these new relationships?
What they want to do it.
You would be shocked. I think every one of us would be shocked at how many couples and how many people are involved in this world.
My neighborhood.
And it's
neighborhood.
Is it a big swinger neighborhood?
My entire neighborhood too.
We have an issue here apparently. Ashley's got her ear to the ground on all the socials. And
fuck.
The mom groups and stuff. And
watch for pineapples.
And open garage doors.
Half open.
Yeah.
Pink flamingos.
Yep.
What's the other one?
The only one I know that's true is the upside down pineapple. The other stuff is just bullshit. The upside down pineapple is a very specific one. Like the star on the window doesn't necessarily mean the person's a swinger. Maybe they just like stars. The garage half open might just mean they're airing out their fucking garage.
Kind of grass too. That if you grow grass in your yard,
some weird bushy grass. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
If you plant certain herbs and foliage, apparently that's a sign that you're going. You're good to go. You and
the wife are good to bring someone else in.
Hello?
Harold and Barb
We're
are
here
looking
for the
friends.
orgy.
It would be so fucking weird, eh? Like that would just be the weirdest thing in the world to me. Where you like walk into a place with your significant other, and you're like, "Want to give this a go?" And she's like, "I guess so." I would be like, "No thanks." Like if someone said to me, "Listen, if the hottest chick in the world came up to me and she's like." Listen, I'm a big fan of yours because you look a lot like Ryan Gosling from the Barbie and Ken movie. There you go.
That probably isn't going to happen anytime
looks
soon.
Looks a lot like me. And if she said the only rule, this is the only rule, like if Kate Beckinsale was like, the only rule is that we have to be able to swing with a whole bunch of different people and I got to get it and you got to watch. I'd be like, I'm out. I don't need to question my own fucking authority in life.
I might stick around for an afternoon.
I might watch it for like an hour, but I'm not staying. I can't do that. I mean, I would literally walk around with no confidence for the rest of my life.
Open bar.
Will there be hors d'oeuvres?
That's true. Do you have edibles and a decent indica?
Is there a buffet?
Is there a silk smoking jacket involved?
Do you have the little mini?
If there's a buffet at an open bar, I'll give you an evening.
That's true. Yeah. That's nice. The other kind of relationship that I heard about this week are these. I don't know why they're calling them this. Mixed weight relationships. Have you guys heard about these?
No.
Yeah, mixed weight relationships. You know what it is? It's when a smaller person marries a huge person.
Yeah.
And they call it mixed weight relationships. Yeah, dude. It's. I read a whole article on. Ashley and I. There's Miss Boebert. We'll get to her in a second. But these two are the subject of an article. Young couple. She's 250. He's 140. She's a curvy lady, as you can tell, and she's proud of her curves. He loves the curves. Big fan of this. This is a full-figured BBW is what this is, right? Good for her.
What's a BBW?
Big, beautiful woman.
Okay. All right.
And they talk about how they get funny looks, and what they want to do is, and I thought it was a great article, is they want to bring light to these mixed weight relationships. So that's what they're calling them now. You know how we have mixed race relationships? Now they're saying when people, and I can't decide if this is just us going, okay, this is a phrase we're using to not stare at people now. These people that go by us where you're like, how does that technically work? You know, because we're still us. We're always going to be us. But I think it's their way of softening these relationships where a much bigger person marries a much smaller person, depending on the size of each individual. And they call them mixed weight relationships.
All right.
These are just bored white people with nothing better to. Know, I know we're not on big terms because somebody brought up his name earlier, but I know we're not on talking terms. But I'd love to hear like if you ever said that term to like a guy like John Kay, just to see what he would write about it.
Oh, he'd be furious.
He'd
be so fucking furious. Yeah,
it's
and
so dumb.
Every accepting person out there who's like wants everybody to accept everything and nobody to not like anything. Cave people, weird liberals, like the weird extremists.
Yeah,
they're like, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mixed
lonely
weight.
People.
That's beautiful. No, this guy likes women that size. That woman likes guys his size, and they found each other and they're getting it on. It's fucking beautiful. Everybody's good. We call it a mixed weight relationship.
It's a relationship.
Guy likes bigger girls. She likes smaller guys. Everybody wins. And there's a lot of that out there. There's like whole porn sections where you can literally just watch big people doing it because that's your kink. Probably his kink
your
too.
Podcast is in this.
Yes.
Me and my wife. You've seen us together, Dean.
You should sign up.
You're a big dude. She's a really small person. You're a mixed weight relationship. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. And I now Ashley, I'm going to throw up and hang myself.
Up.
Thank you.
Sign up for a Facebook group.
For fuck's sakes. Like, seriously. Now, because now if this takes off, people are going to look and they're like, oh, there's one. There's one of those
mixed weight relationships. That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
Behind your back, Linz.
I know. Sometimes you don't hang up the phone. It's fine. I cry myself to sleep when I hear your judgments.
Mixed weight relationship. I love the mixed weight relationship almost as much, just because it goes a long way to explaining something that doesn't need to be explained. That guy really likes this girl, and he's a big fan of the way she looks, and she's a big fan of the way he looks, and everybody wins here, right? That's pretty much it. Is that what we're talking about? I think it's what we're talking about.
I think it's if you're happy and if you like something, then jump in, and who cares? We have way too much judgment in the world, and you know what? We also have too many labels.
Yeah, and that's it. You said it earlier.
You're a girl and you like big guys. You go nuts.
Yeah,
get on the box.
Everyone, just get what you got getting to you. I sold my crypto today.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Shall we check the prices?
Oh my God.
Wow. You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. So I had.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's down again.
Big day.
Wow. Jesus.
It's a big day.
So I looked at it. Good. I looked at what I had in there, and somebody gave me 500. What was his name again?
Greg Foss. Good guy.
Greg gave me 500 last year. And then around Christmas time, I finally looked at it. And then I put another 500 in there. Mm-hmm. And it bounced around. So I had $1,000 committed to crypto. And I was just bored one day, so I threw $500 in there. And it went up to $1,400. It went down to $1,200. It went down to $900. It bounced back up to $1,200. And it was all over. It was a bit yo-yo, major yo-yo. But because I committed $500 to it, I said to myself, if it starts to slip past 650, which is what I had in here, I'm not looking at what it's worth. If it slipped past a certain percentage, I was going to sell. Right. So I kept an eye on it. And I made that commitment a couple weeks ago when it started to dive, because I'm like, that's my $500. I don't want to lose that. I got gifted 500. I'm not out 500. So when it went below
the house's money.
I checked it this morning when I got home, and it was like 640 or something like that. And I'm like, I'm out. This is going to die. So I dumped it.
So now it's going to go up tomorrow. Everybody go buy the
No. It's gone down significantly since Lochlin got out. I think you did a great thing. And let me tell you why. Is because everybody is apologizing today that owns these Coinbase NFT companies because they are losing their shirts. Like they're calling this the crypto earthquake. Like everything's coming back down to normal. So I don't know what you sold it at, but in the last 24 hours, the coin that you and I both shared, that I sold at 2,200 Christmas presents. in December has cratered to below 20,000 per coin, right? So effectively, that mark I believe was 22,000, where they're like, it can't go below here, otherwise we're in big fucking trouble. It's below that significantly, and apparently the sell off is happening to the point where even the dude that has an NFT company, Takashi Murakami, apologized to his crypto investments after his NFT prices nosedive. This guy is a big fucking deal. He's one of the few fine artists who managed to make successful crossover to the NFT space. He raised $69 million for his crypto thing. Everything that he has done, apparently, following an NFT collaboration. He announced the release of a couple of different things back in 2022. He's learned a valuable lesson from this. He said he wanted to understand the technology, but he has lost a ton of money, and he actually just went on Instagram and said, hey, fuck, sorry, I didn't realize this was MLM.
What did I say months ago?
And you're seeing it across the board. Like, stock prices are going into the tank. You're seeing different prices normalize. It's almost like everybody's kind of clued into the idea that there's something going on with like this set amount of money that continued to grow, and nobody could see it. Nobody could find it. You couldn't get your hands on it unless you turn it into cash. It was literally like a whole bunch of people dumped their money in, and it was just this butter churning exercise for fake dough. Like, and I know it's a shitty thing to say, right? Because
but that's the stock market.
But that is the stock market in general. But it's not with fiat money, right?
Really.
Like, this is invisible money, and all of it was invisible art. And
this is we've literally we've disappeared $2 trillion in actual tangible money here with nothing. Nothing was there in the beginning, and we've literally made $2 trillion disappear. You can't explain.
Well, part of it is that it's high risk, right? Like, a lot of people don't understand that. They'll just go, well, you can't see it. And no, you can't, which makes it high risk. Like, it's not a tangible thing. Right. So the first thing that happens when the stock market starts to tank, and it has tanked and inflation's going through the roof, the first thing that happens is all the high risk stuff, everybody divests themselves of it, right? And this is about as high risk as you can get. And a lot of people cashed in on that risk for the last 3-4 years. However, when it starts, the downside starts to go, hey, how you doing? I'm the downside. Everybody's like, get the fuck out as fast as you can. And that's what you're seeing, right? Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, at least you didn't lose your shirt lock. Like, you're still up that $500 plus another couple.
I didn't have any money in there.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, you made $140 in crypto. You can say that. You go down in history saying that you made money in crypto, that's nice. Yeah. I'm happy for you for that.
I hope a lot of you did.
That's why I think that's why the stock market goes down with this, though, because a lot of people put that tangible money into the dream of the not tangible money, and they're selling off real stocks and real investments to pay for losses that they lost in the pretend world. And here we are. We've put so much faith as a society into trying to make these virtual fucking places that aren't real world. We try to live in this fucking alternate reality with fucking alternate fucking what do they call it? Alternate reality, alternate facts. Everything's fake. Like, let's just make it pretty in our heads. Of course it's going to collapse. There's no fucking foundation to it. What do you expect? I don't know. I never trusted it right from the get-go, and I'm glad that I didn't fall into the hype, because it was so many people lost so much money.
Yeah, a lot of people made money too.
I would never have put 10 grand in there or 20 grand in there or try to make something out of it. I was just sort of having fun with it, right?
Yeah. You know who I feel sorry for? And there are people that did think that they were getting money for nothing and all that stuff. I feel sorry for the people that like literally made a ton of money and then doubled down and went and did it again over the past like 6-8 months and kept buying the dip and literally have lost everything because that money has disappeared. If you bought it at 35, you bought it at 45, you bought it at 55, you're dead. It's over. Yep. Like you just lost everything.
I had $1,500 from $500 given to me.
Yeah.
Like whatever that is. Mm-hmm. And then my $500. It was up to like 14.
Dude, I know a guy that in one day lost 12 million.
Yeah. See.
This year. 12 million in one day. And that was him. And he was up like 15 or 20 or something like that because he's a fucking wheel. And he's like, I'm out. I'm going to take my 2-3. I'm good. Right? Like, I'm good. I'm just going to get out. And since then, he is so happy he did because a bunch of guys that he got into business with are doing the same thing. Right? But those guys lost everything. There's some guys that lost so much that their wives left them. I mean, it's just the same. It's it is not something like, I know we're kind of laughing about it because we're like, oh, fuck, it's just a little weird. This doesn't exist. It's weird that you got so much money in something that's not real. But at the same time, I mean, it's going to cause a problem for a lot of people. Like it really tough financial times, and it is literally signaling the rest of it, recession, all that other shit that's coming with it. So I kind of feel sorry for a lot of different people that got caught up in this. Not bad enough to not laugh a little, but
when the crypto bros, oh, what do? Put your money in your mattress? You're fucking right, I do. Because guess what? I have money today, and you don't.
That's true. That is true.
So,
this is we can make an excellent transition to a conversation that we had on the show today, and I thought about this because I've been promoting this lifestyle for years. And then I've seen in the last little while, I have seen some evidence and some studies that have been done to prove that I'm right about this. I think like myself, like a lot of people in the last couple of years I've paid more attention to my drinking habit. And if I'm being honest, I was a little shocked when I started to pay attention to how much I was drinking. Mm-hmm. So what ended up happening was I was drinking all the time, but it was never always at home, right? Mm-hmm. It was spread out. I would drink at home. I would drink here. I would drink there. I was consistently drinking, but I didn't really have a gauge as to how much I was drinking. COVID hits, not going out, just drinking at home. Now I'm actually calculating how much I'm drinking. And I'm like, wow, okay. I got some math behind this. Now listen, I was a little surprised at the level of booze, the amount of booze I was drinking in a given week. I thought I was about 24 beers a week. And I'm probably a little more than that. Now, I'm a consistent drinker. There's no difference between a Monday and a Saturday for me.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to consume about the same amount on any given day.
Right.
Every once in a while, I'll have a runaway. Like when I was in Toronto, we had a runaway. That was a runaway night for me.
Yeah.
Right. But that's only about once, maybe twice a month where I drink a consistent amount. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, I have friends, and listen, I'm well aware of my problem, and I know that, listen, it's probably not healthy for me to consume as much alcohol as I do in a given week, in a given year. Okay. I'm aware of it. Don't get me wrong. But I have said to friends of mine, like Jimmy, who binge drinks on the weekends, that he should try to spread his drinking out. And now there's studies, you can Google it. There's a tremendous number of studies out there that will support that. And I just wanted to pass that along to anybody that's in a similar situation, evaluating their drinking. If you can maintain a consistent level through the week, it's healthier for you than to drink your allotment in 2 nights, right?
Yeah. I read this article in CNN that was interesting, and I'm not a big CNN guy, but CNN Health is fairly, anytime even Fox has like Fox Health, you can go read that. Some of the stuff's actually real. You consider yourself a light to moderate drinker, having the occasional cocktail, a glass of wine, says only tossing back a few extra glasses of liquid refreshment at a social gathering. By most standards, you'd be right, because drinking is typically tracked as an average week, right? Like an average over the whole week. But a lot of people are binge drinking to the point, and the article said good many adults over 30 are binge drinkers, especially among women and adults over 65. So you're so close to that age too. Like you're just a couple of years away. That could be a problem. Yet levels of binge drinking among adults is becoming a major problem, and it has become even more of a problem for men and women of a certain age, specifically over 40, during the pandemic, to the point where Liver disease has never been more of an issue. Cirrhosis has never been more of an issue. Mental health issues with people over the pandemic, that everybody literally fucking cranked it up over the pandemic. I don't know if you guys did. I can't speak for you guys. I would never tell you guys that you drink too much. Everybody individually has their own litmus test and their own idea of where they're at. You're both very self-aware individuals. So I don't consider either one of you, because you get the business of life done, to have a problem, right? It's only a problem if you decide it's a problem. But my God, liver disease went up 70% over the last 2 years. 70%. Mental health issues as related to substance abuse went up over 150%.
Wow.
Because people literally were like, okay, locked down, trapped in the house, what am I going to do? To the point where I've got a friend, and I'm lucky because I get to like talk to guys and work, loosely work with some guys that have drinking issues. And over the past, like I would say 6 to 8 weeks, I have been inundated with people like, hey, can you talk to my friend? Hey, can you talk to this guy? Hey, can you talk to that guy? To the point where it's like, no, I can't. You're going to have to tell them that these are the resources that they get and where they're going to have to go and all that other stuff. But it is literally a coping mechanism, and people literally lock themselves in their houses with alcohol, got it delivered for a long period of time. And now it's like if you've been in the circle of booze, I like to call it the circle of booze. If you've been in that circle of booze, it is so fucking hard to get out of. It's so hard to get out of. It is a fun circle. You can have a blast.
Get real dizzy in here.
Start with a Caesar after your shower in the morning because you're so fucking hung. You got to get some hair of the dog. And then you're like, ooh, and then you start doing some work and you're like, fuck work. I'm drunk. Let's go have some fun. And then there's the rest of the day. But that is literally the biggest issue that a lot of people are facing right now, is the pre and post pandemic issues that they had with, predisposed to drinking, and now they're fucked, totally fucked. But the binge drinking is one of those things. It's like a major problem. And to Lochlin's point, and they actually have classes. I don't know if you guys know this. They have classes and courses where they will teach people who have alcohol issues how to drink responsibly, where they're like, and what they tell you to do is, hey, listen, if you're going to drink like a fish, spread it out.
They're not calling Locke and I to teach those courses.
It sounds funny to be telling people this.
They do.
Listen, don't drink your whole allotment in 2 nights.
Yeah.
Drink the whole week.
Why,
you know what? It was funny at the beginning at the beginning of the pandemic. We had ads on from the provincial government, and it was talking about, have you thought about trying a dry month? And then like a month later, 2 months later, have you thought about trying a dry week? And then like 2-3 months later, it was like, have you really thought about maybe just taking an hour or 2 off a day? Even the agencies that are helping people out were like throwing in the towel. Like, son of a bitch, can you just stop fucking putting booze down your fucking hole for an hour?
Dude, they had this campaign in January or February. It was like dry January, February, and it was a cool campaign. And the campaign was it's like the weight loss campaign, or like Brovember or whatever they call it. Was it Brovember? What do they call it? Movember, where you grow a mustache. Brovember. It's the same thing. And it was for alcohol. And there were these TV commercials going around, and they're like, if you had a tough time with alcohol, try going sober for the whole month and sign up for this sober challenge on this thing. After 2 weeks, all the ads were gone. The website was gone because everybody's like, you can go fuck yourself. This is the only thing I use to fucking cope with life. I'm not doing dry anything, right?
Those commercials were great. Like,
were they awesome?
If you were sober, and then the more you got drunk, the more you're like, don't fucking judge me. Fuck you. Get off my TV.
When I would see those commercials back when I was drinking, and I knew I was drinking too much, I just didn't know how to figure it out. But I remember I literally every time I would see like an AA commercial, every time I would see a commercial for like dry January, dry February, I got physically angry, like the person in the TV was telling me I had a problem. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. I'm turning the channel. I'm not watching this.
That's an issue.
And do you know why? Do you know why that made me angry? Because they were right.
It was true.
We had a bet. We had a wager for the celebrity death pool, and it was you had to quit drinking for a month, and I won, and Jimmy and Grant lost. And they lost in August. This is a couple of years ago. We're on round, I think, 13 or 14 or something. The latest bet is the 2 losers have to wear underwear bought at a Salvation Army for a week.
Oh, my God.
The fuck is wrong
So-
with you guys?
They were going to take the month of September off. I remember it was September because we had an event on the Friday, and the Friday was like September 4th or September 5th. And we had to go to this. It was a station thing. And I was late. The guys were already at the bar, and I'm like, hang on. I'm just, like, I'm texting. I was like 20 minutes late. And like I said, we're 4 or 5 days into September. I get into the bar, and both Jimmy and Grant are at the bar with the bartender doing shots. They lasted 4 or 5 days, and Grant's excuse was, they were free. What am I supposed to do?
It's so true. It's so true because when you love drinking, the only thing you love more than booze is free booze.
Oh yeah.
Like it was just he was so adamant. They were free.
Here in Ontario, they have if you go to like the liquor store, the LCBOs, they have now not since the pandemic, but they used to have samples when you walked in the door.
Yeah.
And there'd be like somebody like hawking some new product or whatever, and
usually
it's
some
funny.
crazy Irish cream that looked like it was curdled already, and you're like, dude, I'm not drinking. It's like 30 degrees out. You want me to do a shot of Irish cream? Are you crazy?
But when it's free, you're like, yeah, fuck, I'll take one of those. Sure, let me try that.
Exactly.
Oh, here, have you tried blue curacao
say no
and
to liquor
fucking lemon fucking meringue pie vodka? I'm like,
Yeah.
that
I just
sounds
had my
disgusting.
finger in
Give
it.
me
Do you want to
two.
try it? Yeah, I'll have 7. Please.
give me 2
I don't
of
care
those.
where they
I'll
came from.
walk past every Costco sample all day long. I get into that Costco liquor store.
Costco sells booze.
In Alberta, it does. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do they have
You don't even need a
samples of
membership.
booze too? You don't need a membership to go get booze at Costco?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
No.
When I quit drinking, all the good booze shit happened. Like they started selling
Yeah.
booze at Costco in Alberta.
That's
They come
where I
up with
get my
these new
48.
coolers that
The
taste
Mike's
so
co-
fucking
oh,
good.
I fucking hate it for you because they have like
Ugh.
those blue freezies and the white freezies. And
Yeah.
it's funny though how
Vodka soda in a can. That just started to happen when I quit drinking too, because it's gonna be
Yeah.
5 years or something like that coming up in a bit. And I'm like,
Congratulations.
vodka soda in a can, whatever. Vodka soda, dude. I wasn't an alcoholic. I was just an idiot.
I'm just saying, it makes you happy. I'm happy
just
for
an
you.
asshole.
Congratulations. Fuck. Take
Yeah.
the fucking
Thanks, buddy.
congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate
I
it.
wasn't an alcoholic. I was just an asshole.
just
You know
a
what
huge
You know what I
asshole.
love? You know what I love? These companies are fucking brilliant when you talk about like the delicious things. You know why they're brilliant?
Why?
Do you know what they do? This is fucking. This
Make
is
them
like
delicious.
No, it's evil. And you know what they do? You notice that all the flavors that are the most popular are the ones that you loved as a kid.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
like
yeah.
they pander to your fucking
Pop
inner
Shop?
child. Pop
See,
shop.
you're a sweet
Freezies.
guy, right?
The
like-
root.
I like
dusty
beer too,
root
though.
beer.
Yeah, root
See,
beers.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't get sucked into any of those coolers or candy kite type drinks.
All I
mean,
would drink.
Love
That's
'em.
all I would drink.
Fucking love
to
'em.
the point where I remember, like, they just came out with, like, it didn't come out with it. Had it for a few years. Mike's Hard Lemonade and stuff. That's what I would mix my vodka with. Was Mike's
Yeah.
Hard Lemonade or Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah,
Is that
I
a
would
problem?
I do that. I add vodka to fucking those fuckers if it's a good night. Absolutely.
Dude, they're called turbos. You know
Yeah.
how many times I haven't finished a round of golf because of those turbos? 100. Where it's like 14th hole. I'm like, I can't
yeah.
see. We got to leave. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
let's go.
You know what, guys?
I have-
Golf sucks. Golf's
Yeah.
shit. Let's leave.
Yeah.
I have a bottle of Jameson in the cupboard, and I have wine. I have a wine in the wine cupboard, and I have beer in the basement. And the Jameson goes into my coffee to make my coffee taste better. And I drink wine with dinner, and I drink beer all the time. I don't drink any of those flavored, none of that shit.
No.
Well,
Nothing,
if you
you
did,
never
you'd
have.
have a problem, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's so good. It literally tastes like you're drinking a
that's
Diet Coke.
just it. Like
It
I
just
can't.
reminds you of being fucking 12 again. You
Yeah,
know, like
that's
10
it.
years
I
old
never
with your
drank
buddies
that.
having a
I
big
never ate
freezy
that
at the fucking. Oh man.
When I was a kid, though, either.
That's why those people that drink like Scotch straight, I was like, I always used to say to them, there's no way you like it. And I remember I got into Scotch and I'm like, I really like this. And I remember one time going, actually, I don't. Just give me like a Diet Coke and some Jack Daniels or
I
a
was the
vodka
same
soda
way.
with a twist of lime. That's all I wanted because the whole goal was I just need to get out of my head. So let's get as drunk as fast as I can.
And I might
That's
as well
it.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
on the way.
Might as well taste
my
good.
my buddy is into the scotches, and he
Yeah.
spends thousands of dollars a year on bottles. And every time I'm over at his place, I haven't been down to see him in a while, but every time I'm over, he's always desperate to get people to join him in his alcoholic endeavors, right? Like he's like, dude,
oh, dude, that's
have
what
a drink.
every single person that drinks too much wants to do is someone around them to be drunk with them. I know this because this is what I did, because that means I can't be that bad then.
Yeah. So whenever I go down there,
easier to deal with when you're
he'll
drunk.
go, okay, this is a $500 bottle of scotch. There's no way you're not going to like this. And I'm like, all right, give me a shot. And I'll have a couple of, and I'm just like, and then I'll go to the fridge and get a Budweiser, and he's just angry because he won't buy it for me. I have to bring it. So I got to bring my own beer. And and he's just mad that I'm not drinking his $500 bottle of scotch.
You'd rather have a $4 Bud Light?
Yeah.
I'd rather have 20 of them, but
that's what
who's counting?
My brother and I used to do that. We used to, every year at Christmas, we used to buy each other a very expensive bottle of scotch, and all we'd end up doing on Christmas Eve is swapping the bottles and drinking them both. And it's like, why don't we just buy what we want and we'll just drink it whenever, like one of those. And it was that pretense. It was that you try and get into that ambiance of the scotch drinking.
Oh,
and you're sitting with
thing.
It's so douchey, right? But and you're right. They taste like shit. It tastes like shit, and I'd rather have a beer, or I'd rather have like a
40
Ryan
Creek and
Coke.
Coke.
Coke in a coffee cup. Yes,
in a coffee cup, exactly.
Well, it keeps it cooler the whole time, right? Oh, look at you! You got
It's actually smart. I have a Yeti. I have a Yeti that I usually bring, but it clangs too loud on the mic.
We know.
So I try to hit mute.
My wife was washing the dishes the other day. This was after one of our podcasts, and I put the cup next to it, and for whatever reason, it was empty. I put it next to the
rookie.
sink.
You fucking. She smelled it.
She went.
Yeah.
She went, have you been drinking?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You stupid rookie.
She's like, it's like 3 p.m.
You're like,
thanks, Big Ben.
Thanks, Mother Time. I figured it out. It's 3 o'clock. I just had a coffee with some Irish cream in it. What's in that coffee right now?
It smells a little like Jameson.
That's it.
See, and no one can judge you guys because your life is full and you're both happy individuals. Only you can decide. And I do wish that everybody, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, is that if you've got a problem with substances, and I mean this truthfully, as someone who talks openly about his struggle with it, go talk to somebody. Like, if you don't like the way your life's going, go talk to somebody, change it. I know they say it's hard, but there are a million answers out there for people that think that they have issues. And if you don't. And fucking here's the other thing. If you know someone that drinks a ton and you have a problem with it, it doesn't mean they do. Right?
No.
So leave them the fuck alone. If they're not seriously, and I mean that.
Friends about it. I bring it up with Jimmy. I bring it up with Jimmy because Jimmy, I'm worried about Jimmy sometimes, right? Because he does drink a ton on the weekend. So I will like, dude, come on, just spread it out. So he's been doing that the last year. He's been trying to drink more during the week.
That's because you got him on the liquor too. He's just on beer, and now he's like, I'm getting fat, so I'm just going to drink liquor. Now he's drinking rye and beer.
What a good idea.
He started bringing home bottles, and then he was telling me what he was drinking, and I'm like, dude, maybe that was a bad idea. He dummied a bottle of vodka and a bottle of rye in a week and a half.
26 or 40?
Top of the beer?
26s. And then I said, well, were you drinking beer too? And he goes, yeah, I killed a 15-pack as well in the last week. And I'm like, maybe the beer is a better idea there, buddy. Like, but I don't judge Jimmy for his drinking.
Well, you can't judge anybody. And this is the thing.
About him.
Yeah, and that's allowed. Like, worrying about people that are unhealthy is allowed, but you can't. We live in a world where everybody wants to save everybody and look like a savior, and everybody wants to do it, dude. Like, I had a conversation with someone the other day, and they phoned me. They go, "Hey, my buddy's in trouble. Can you talk to him?" I'm like, "Sure." So we talk. Guy phones me, puts me on a 3-way, and he says, "Hey, this is this person. How you doing? Nice to see you." I'm like, "Hey, how you feeling?" He's like, "Terrible." I'm like, "Do you want to make some changes?" He's like, "Not really." I'm like, "All right, man. See you later." And I just hung up the phone.
Sometimes you just want to tell someone you feel terrible.
And then my buddy followed me back. He's like, "What'd you do?" I'm like, "He doesn't want to stop drinking, and he doesn't want to change his life. So let him do what he's got to do, and he'll figure it out." Like, we're not here to save people. We're just here to fucking talk to people if they want to talk, right? Yeah. And he's like, "Well, I don't think that's the way to do it." And I'm like, "Watch and wait and see what happens." Literally a couple days later, guy drives himself to rehab, and he's still there, which is great, right? He wants to change his life and get better, but it's all up to the individual, which is why I have this steadfast thing. It's like, don't judge people and tell them what they're doing upsets you because it's their fucking life.
The other problem is, and you're hitting on something, Dean. You're hitting on something that I think is valuable to say out loud. What I do in my life may not be a problem for me, but it could be a problem for somebody if they did what I did, right? And they would view it as a problem. And that's okay, right? Like my level of consumption would not necessarily fit everybody else's lifestyle. I have made it work because I started drinking when I was 12. So I've been doing this a long time. I've got a skin on that old fucking liver.
That's like
right?
52
and
years.
The thing is, we end up in a lot of these conversations and we end up in a lot of situations based on what other people think of us, right? The judgment that is passed on to us from others.
Yeah.
And that can be just as fucking stressful as whatever it is that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I've decided that this is okay and I'm comfortable living the life that I'm living, that's up to me. But if I've got a whole bunch of people around me telling me that I've got a problem, guess what? It probably will end up being a problem for me because now I'm worried about the judgment. So I really do. I swear to God, that judgment piece is something that I really, really work on. And I'm not good at it, but I think it's something we all need to work on. We'd be in a lot better off. Listen, obviously there's going to be situations where people need somebody to step in and help them out, right? And you'll see those situations. And I hope if you are in a position where you need that help, you also have the courage to ask for that help. But I would never in a million years criticize Lynn's for having a 40 Creek and Coke on the podcast or a cigarette. Like, I don't fucking care what he does.
No, me neither.
You know what I mean? Like, who fucking cares?
Are you a good person or are you not?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a good person? Are you a good human being? Do you stand up for the marginalized? Do you help your friends? Do you think selflessly first? Do you want the world around you to be a better place, or do you want people to be subject to what you think and how you think life should be? Right? Those are the questions that you have to ask yourself.
Are you happy?
And are you happy is the biggest question. And I can tell you, and I'll fucking shoot straight. 5 years ago, I was not. 5 years ago, I was miserable. 5 years ago, I had a terrible experience. I had a terrible perception. I thought everybody was here for me. I was a selfish dick. I was an asshole. And the way I dealt with issues is I drank and I hid. And now I don't drink or hide. My life is full. I get to enjoy it. Lochlin's life is full. He drinks, doesn't hide. Ryan's life is full. He likes to drink, doesn't hide. Maybe you do, but that's up to you. Yeah, but that's also life, right? Like, you put yourself in a position, and I said this to someone the other day. They're like, what about all the parties I miss? I'm like, dude, what happens at those parties? And he's like, this, and this, and they were all bad. And I'm like, well, there you go. You got to decide if your FOMO is more important than how you want to be and how you want to live, right? Like, I am perfectly comfortable. And I said this to my dad the other day because he's like me. I've partied a lot. I fucking partied a lot. I've done a lot of drinking. I've been to every party. I've been to big ones, small ones, house parties, galas. I know what happens there, and I've got no interest in going, and I manage the inputs in my life because it's really important for me to do that, to live a happy life. And so because I don't drink or go to parties or any of those other things, it doesn't mean I'm no fun. Fuck, I'm a barrel of laughs.
I was just going to say, there's a big difference, and you can tell, like, when Lochlin told that story about when they went to Grant's party, remember that, was it an engagement party or whatever?
Yeah.
And you were the DD, and you were fucking miserable. And then I look at, like, when we went to the Jays game, and Dean was there. You didn't even know that Dean didn't drink. Dean was still...
Oh, if I would have been sober, I would have ruined all your nights.
Exactly, right? So there's it's different. It's just I'm the same way. If everybody around me is drunk, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But I'm antisocial, and I don't have that FOMO thing. Like, I don't get that. Like, I don't have to be. I'm like Dean in that regard too. I don't. If somebody says there's a huge party on the weekend, you need to be there, I'm like, nah, do I? I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not that guy either.
I don't need to be the center of any of that. No.
I know people that cannot be excluded from anything. It's the number one thing in their lives. and it just tears them apart. I couldn't live like that.
If it's like a close group of people that you really like and love, then of course you want to be a part of that. But if it's like you say, like some big rager in this concert, and
don't need it.
Nah, I'm good. I like what I like, and the people I don't like people I don't like especially when I'm drinking. I just because I know I'm going to run into somebody that is just an asshole.
Well, and here's the other thing is when you drink, you get literally liquid courage, right? To say the things that you normally wouldn't say the things and do the things you normally wouldn't do. And if I went out and got blasted right now, the first thing I would do is I would drive to Ottawa and go find Pierre Polyev. I would.
I'd be in
just
the
to
car
give him
with
a
you.
piece of your mind.
I don't need booze to say things that I want to say, though. I've also never been that guy, but I need to work on that. I'm glad you brought that up, Linz, because I will ruin somebody's night if I get invited to a party and I have to drive. I will ruin your evening, and I'll go out of my way to make sure everybody has a miserable fucking time because I'm not happy about being there. And that's a problem. Like that, that's a weakness.
As long as I have another anchor with me that's not drinking, I'm okay. But if everybody else around me is drunk, it's like, it's not even, I don't want to ruin your night. I'm just annoyed with you because it's a bit of, it's probably just like, I want to be just as fucking wrecked as you. And, I
go out of my way to ruin everybody's night.
You know what? It's fucking amazing is that I've been to a few parties recently, and when I say parties, I mean get-togethers, right? Yeah. And because I don't drink and I haven't been in that environment and all that stuff, I'm totally okay. In fact, I was making drinks for people at this party the other day, and I'm like, "Yeah, you want a drink? Here you go." But there was this I don't know what it is. It's when it gets slurry, when people get slurry and get really close to you, like when they're that drunk. Like I can deal with people that got a great buzz on, no big deal. But when you get drunk to the point where you're talking to people like this.
Yeah.
Right. You got that one eye going this way, one eye going that way.
Me by 10.
I've got nothing. And I didn't. I didn't want to. I never wanted to be that guy. I never wanted to be the dude that's like, I hate being around drunk people. I don't. What I hate being around are people that are so drunk they can't fucking function. Right. And then I'm like, oh my god, that was me for 10 years. Was I that annoying? And I've been asking people up until the last few years. I don't ask them anymore. But when I first got sober, I'm like, was I super annoying? And some of my best friends were like, dude, you were the worst. I hated golfing with you when you were drunk. You just became an asshole. And I'm like, really? And then another buddy of mine, Pete, he's like, no, man, you were the best. And I'm like, dude, we were always super drunk together. And he's like, maybe you were. I don't know. I was drunk too. Couldn't tell you. But yeah, it comes for all of us. Anyway, I'm not here to talk down on people's drinking and fear of missing out. They're FOMO. Go out, have fun, drink, whatever you got to do. Just don't be a dick. And if you are a dick when you drink, go fucking figure it out. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not having a good time, why are you doing it? And that's been my thing forever. Everybody that knows an alcoholic in their life. And it's like, if you're not enjoying this, why aren't you finding another thing to try and enjoy? Do you maybe they like the misery? I don't know.
Shrooms. Cannabis.
Something. Any cannabis, exactly.
Leanne's stone people are more fun.
She's right.
They are.
Yeah. The conversations are definitely better.
Oh, yeah. You laugh way harder. No hangovers. Yeah, do it. Switch to weed. Dude, if you got a drinking problem, they've got so many great beers with cannabis in them now. Molo, they got a ton of different beers.
Yeah.
Go and drink all the fucking cannabis beer, 10 milligrams. You can have 4 or 5 of them. You can feel like $1 million. You won't be hungover. You can be in place with people when you feel out of place. That's my suggestion. And as someone that works with people, I never give them that advice. What I tell them is you got to be sober for a long period of time before you get into it. But if you're fucking, it's life and death. Do it, dude. It's harm reduction. Absolutely.
Yep.
Sorry, Locke. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
We're all good. I was just going to say, I was going to shift gears to, I think people would be surprised at the chemicals that people use. Listen, and again, we're talking about booze and we're talking about weed, but we talked about the cocaine and hockey players and partying, and Dean's a little bit younger than me and by a couple years,
quite a bit.
but we came up around the same time, and we're just on the fringe of that group in the music business and in the radio business where it was common,
the payola,
quite common for a band to show up with a record and a bag of Coke.
Yeah.
And like,
pot, beer, weed, wine, liquor. They brought it like morning. You're wasted with 9 o'clock with the guys in the headstones. Just or not. Maybe that's not a great example because of you, but you know what I mean.
They found out what the DJ liked and made sure they catered to whatever the DJ wanted.
We got railed with Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age once, like at like 7, 8 o'clock, and the guys from Kings of Leon. They come in for an interview. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. Guy, you got any beer? I'm like, we do. So we all sat around and got hammered. But it's part of the culture, right? It just all is. It's just one of those things.
That was quite common. Like, I mean, when you were watching hockey in the 80s, there is a good chance, and I'm being safe here. If you were watching a team and there was 20 players on the ice, between 5 and 10 of them had done blow before they put their skates on.
He's making that stat up.
Fuck you.
You're probably not that far off, but you're totally making that
20.
He makes up these crazy math stats because the second you put numbers into a fact, everybody goes, it's got to be right. He's using fucking numbers.
Yeah, 97.2% of them were fucking cranked out on coke. Really? Oh my god!
A quarter of them were in the bathroom.
22% of all NHL athletes have herpes. By the way, 22. Really?
22.3.
This is that Cannabis beer I was talking about. A lot of people are asking us about it in the comment section. Molo, they've got 5%. They've got 10%, and there are a ton of beverages. Like if you're thinking about replacing your beer with there's a lime one. No, it's 5 milligrams, dude. You'd be fine. Nothing. I don't even feel this. Probably five big hangers at night.
I had a 5 milligram. If I had 2 of those 5 milligram beers, that's
you would feel unbelievable. You would be laughing. You'd be having fun. You wouldn't be annoying or angry. Then you'd go to sleep and you'd wake up and feel like $1 million. Literally, they've got a lime one too that's fucking lights out. That's my public service to you, the problem drinker. Harm reduction. Switch it out. You'll feel like $1 million.
Listen to this. All right, I'm gonna pull back the curtain a bit here, Lochlin. Yeah. When you go over to Casa Blundell, do you remember that scene in The Shining when Jack Nicholson is sitting at the bar and the bartender comes up? That's Dean with his fridge and he opens it, and all of these fucking bottles, these
Cannabis
stub neck
beers. Oh yeah,
with the little seals.
Oh yeah.
What flavor do you like? Root beer? Do you like lime? Do you like? It's like Willy Wonka, fun. And you get Willy Wonked out at the fucking Blundell house.
That was so fun.
Yeah. The cherry Coke one. And
the cherry one. I had the lime one. There's a mango fizz one. Dude, it is so good. There's just vodka soda with no vodka. It's just cannabis and soda.
The problem with me is I'm not a one-and-done beer guy.
Well, you don't have to be. You can drink these 5 milligrams all day long, and you won't get any more high. I swear to God.
5 milligrams does to me.
Yeah, I do, because I use it all the time, and you don't. That's what I'm telling you. If 50 milligrams might be a problem, like after 10 of them, you might be like, whoa, I need to have a nap for like 8 hours.
Yeah,
but you will literally,
I'm Sleeping Beauty.
Do it. Go to a store, get 10 of these beers, and say, honey, I'm replacing that with this week or even tonight. She will go, oh my God, you got to do that every night. That needs to be your beer of choice. You're going to get raging boners because of it. I can't explain it. Just what happens. You'll get the laughs. You'll be more fun. You won't be angry. You won't be like staring off into space. None of that drunk shit. You'll have a blast. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, big time.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah.
You know what you gotta do?
Seriously.
You gotta try that one day, just on your show. I think the 3 of you should do it on the show. You can get Jimmy on it at least. Get him trying.
We got
Cannabis
Jimmy
beers.
fucked up on cannabis beer or on edibles.
Edibles?
Yeah, a couple years ago we gave him 10 milligrams. We gave him at 5, 6, 7, and 8. We gave him the 2.5. And so the 2.5, and then waited an hour, gave him another 2.5, waited an hour, gave him another. And by the time the 5 kicked in, you could tell he was starting to get a little stoned. And then he was just like fucking flying by 8 when he had 10.
Yeah, dude. But he's like 140 pounds, 4'2". So you're 6'4", 240.
Weed just floors me, guys. I don't know how to
just try it, dude. Just all I'm saying is give it a go.
I get gummies once in a blue moon. I'll order them and I'll take a 5 milligram one, and I'm literally in bed 25 minutes later, out cold. It just hammers me. It always has. Weed has always fucked me up. It's why I didn't smoke. Because I went
even
from
as a
smoking,
kid, you didn't smoke
when
pot?
I was a kid, we smoked pot, but it was like
different
literally,
then, though, yeah.
we bought it from the guy that lived at the campground, worked at the fruit stand in Yak, and he grew it with his tomatoes.
Yeah, dude,
And
you
it-
bought
sold it
just
to us-
stinkweed like 40
Yeah.
years ago, so it was terrible. Like the
No,
weed
but
they have today, they put in these drinks are totally different.
Well, this is what we're talking about, the potency of what weed used to be, because it fucked me up too, Locke. I'm the same as you. I know exactly where you're going with this.
So anyway, we called it shake. We literally, and he'd sell it to us in wonder bags, like bread wonder bags that he had used and kept in his trailer. He lived in an Airstream, and he was a Chinese guy, and he worked at the restaurant and the fruit stand. He was there in the summer. We'd buy this and we called it shake. And it didn't stick together. We'd smoke it, fucking give you a headache. We'd get stoned, but did nothing to us. So I considered myself this hardcore weed guy. And then I went to Vancouver, and then you started buying it from a guy that showed up on a Harley, looked like he killed somebody in the 70s, and it was growing under lights. And then I'd have a couple of beers, be at the pool hall. I'd have a puff in the back alley, and the next thing you know, I'd be running to the bathroom to throw up. It always beat me up.
That's because you just
fucking
bought
hammered
weed
me.
from a crazy guy that lived in an Airstream, for crying out loud.
But then when it was too strong, it just slammed me. So and now when I go out with friends that smoke, I've got a lot of buddies that smoke. This is radio. 50% of people in radio smoke on a regular basis. That's I'm not making that up. Half the guys you listen to on morning radio are stoned at work. And so we go to a concert or whatever and have a toke, and I'd have to have and then I'm done. That's it. I can have a puff. That's it. That's been my whole life. With my whole experience with weed has been that.
All you have to do, go get 4 of these beers, maybe even 2 of them. Sit down in your basement, clear your schedule, have one, wait a half an hour, and then have another one. Yep. And then report back. And if you don't like it, it's such a small amount of cannabis, you can get them at any cannabis shop. They're all over the place in Edmonton, right? You guys got cannabis shops everywhere.
Dude, you should see it. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I love it.
You ever been in one, Lochlin?
Everywhere.
They're actually impressive.
They're fucking cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been in one. There was an opening of a big one. There was the guys in our building, Fire for Flower.
Yeah.
They're in the 4th floor of the building we're in. They invited us to the grand opening of the one that they opened at the big stupid mall. So I went down there and West Edmonton Mall, and we had we went down and had hors d'oeuvres.
Pot shops in
It's the only time I've ever been in one.
They have pot shops at West Edmonton Mall?
They had one there. I don't know if it's still there. To be honest, I avoid the mall like the plague.
Yeah, I know you do.
Literally, I can't. I had to work there though. That was the worst 16 months of my life. So I had to drive there every day. And then when they fired me, they saved my life. So I get dragged to the mall once a year, maybe. I haven't been there for a couple of years. My wife will, say, hey, let's go to the mall or whatever. We got to buy pants, or there's an Apple store down there.
You need pants, Lochlin. You need pants. Your ball rubbing is coming through your jeans, and we got to replace those pants.
I fucking hate that mall. I fucking hate it.
Dude, you don't have to go there. Just go to do me a favor. One of these nights, right? Because you and I are going to go to
beer.
We were going to do a podcast one time. Remember we were going to do this, weren't we?
Why don't we do that? Yeah, why don't we we'll each get some cannabis beers, and we're going to do a Friday podcast, and we'll see how it goes. This Friday. Okay. That's going to be our show. We're going to go through the cannabis beers. Yeah, we're all going to get Molo beers. Everybody's going to go to his dispensary. Okay. My son works at one, so I'm fine. I'm just going to say, hey, bring me these things, because he's like a bud tender. He's like a sommelier, so he explains to me.
They're so
fucking
cool
awesome.
When you go in
dude,
there.
there's so many different great
I
products that you can use.
10 milligram,
it's incredible.
Right? 5 milligrams. Yeah.
Start with 5. Yeah, you can go to 10. Start with ones that have 5, a little bit of CBD in them. Everything that has like THC in it has to have CBD in it to activate the seed. Dude, it's the best.
I'm just not a weed guy, right?
Well, you should be.
And the
it'll
other
change your
I
life.
have with it is I can control like that can of beer. I know what that does to me. I know what 6 does to me. I know what 10 does to me.
Well,
right? I've got this container that controls it. Like, there's too much unpredictability for me for weed. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what it's going to do to me. So there's that lack of control that I have over it. That's why I avoided drugs. To be
Well, that's why you have to do
honest
these.
with
You have to do these controlled tests, like Dean said about clearing the schedule, sit on the couch, give it
Yeah.
a shot, whatever, and then
enjoy the feeling. Just figure it like note the feeling. Like that's what I do when I try new
I
strains.
also
I'm like,
enjoy having a
I wanna-
boner. So if
Yeah,
this
well, there
gives
you
you a
go.
boner, I
get all
will
kinds
have,
of
it'll
boners.
be a good Friday.
Chopper says in the comment section, I eat 500 milligrams as soon as I leave the shop. By the time I am home, I am fucked.
shit. Jesus Christ.
That guy's a gamer. I like that guy. He
I
goes
did.
for it.
I can do the edibles. I can't smoke it, but I can eat it. And smoking it, I'm the same way, Lochlin. It doesn't. I don't do well on it. I actually pass out. Like one of my first dates with my wife, I thought I was cool, Joe Cool, and yeah, sure, spin up a joint. I'll totally smoke with you, just like I did in high school.
You were an idiot after.
Within about 10 minutes, I literally I opened my
Licking
eyes.
the floor.
My head was in her lap. She was in tears. She thought she killed me. And yeah, so I don't smoke it anymore. I just every once in a while I'll have a little candy here and there and have a nice night.
Yeah,
That's why I don't mind the edibles, because the smoking, I swear to God, and this is going to seem really weak of me, but I fucking loved smoking. I loved it.
Do you think if you smoked a joint, you might get onto the cigs again? You think you get ciggy?
I do worry about it. Like even just thinking about the act of it makes me want to go to 7-Eleven and buy a pack of Players Light.
After a joint, I can't smoke a cigarette. I can't because it tastes like shit. It's like I don't even want this. I think it'd be a great smoking cessation tool if I didn't get so fucked up on weed.
See, anytime I smoked it, I literally right away it triggers something in me. Like, you want a cigarette, Locke?
Well,
you love it. You love it.
You have that oral fixation. The oral fixation.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that too.
I've got a very addictive personality, right? I mean, that probably goes without saying. But
a lot of good advice in the comment section. Michelle's like, start low, 5 to 10 milligrams, take a bit of food with it. Fat, it activates the cannabis, then wait at least an hour and a half to 2 hours to do more. Don't drink for that experience. Alcohol accentuates the effect of edibles. So you might be able to do both. That's some fucking great advice. Great advice.
Have I ever told you guys the story of my brownie story?
No, do you want brownie story music for it, though?
I got one of those, too.
Okay, I got a brownie story for you.
So I think I might have tried to tell this story. But, I was raised by hippies, and I grew up around weed.
Oh, yeah, I know this story.
So, I don't know if I told you this story. So I'm 13, 14 years of age. We live in Yak. And when I say I was raised by hippies, a full-on fucking, like, make your own leather vests, living in a teepee, don't shave.
You lived in a teepee?
Oh fuck, dude! You have
Are you serious?
I like. Listen, I was raised by Cat Stevens. We looked like I was. It looked like I was in a cult. My mom dressed me up as Cat Stevens for Halloween one year. Like everyone's going as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Kiss and cool shit like that. I show up as a fucking asshole Cat Stevens. This is why I'm so mad.
I wonder
at
why you
Halloween.
drink so much.
Anyway, my mom's full on fucking moo-moos and.
Yeah,
I mean, literally, full-on hippies. So we live in Yak, and it's about 30 minutes outside of Creston. And Brenda and Doug Fitzpatrick left Yak, and they moved to an acreage in Salmo. So it was in the summer. We went to visit them, and literally we get there. It's Friday night. We drive in, and I'm 13, 14 years of age. In that period of time, I literally went from 5'6" to 6'4". My shoe size went from a size 8 to a size 12. I could not eat enough. I was eating constantly. And they have a plate of brownies out on the picnic table outside. Everyone's fucking around. So, of course, Lochlin doesn't just eat one. I ate the whole fucking plate. Okay. I get up the next morning and I go downstairs and, I mean, I don't want to get into a real, like, overblown description of what my relationship with my mother is, but I was not, like, I love my mom and I don't regret anything that I went through in my life, but she was not a very active parent. I was pretty much on my own.
Not a hands-on.
From a very young age. I love her, but I was on my own. She was also 15 when she got knocked up. She turned 16 and she had a bouncing baby boy.
Yeah.
Right. So it was just a different upbringing. I had a very different upbringing. Yeah. So when I come downstairs, I can see this concern on my mom's face that I'm not used to. And I'm like, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, thank God you're awake. We were worried we were about to take you to the hospital. And I'm like, what? She goes, yeah. We were very worried. And I'm like, why? She goes, it's Sunday.
You lost a whole day.
No, I slept Friday to Sunday at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Holy
And
fuck.
that's one of many stories about me being dosed when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Holy fuck.
We're worried.
They were fighting all weekend about what to do with me. And they were just like,
I can't believe they waited
my
3
mom wanted
days.
to take me to a hospital.
They
Is he
think if
still
you didn't
breathing?
wake up by Saturday afternoon, they should go and rouse you or maybe take you to the hospital. They're like, give it another 24 hours. He's still breathing.
I think that the cutoff was dinner time on Sunday.
Everybody in the
wasn't
comment
awake by
section's
then,
like,
they were gonna take
that
you to the
explains everything. Everybody in the
You're
comment
too
section.
busy planning the hippie soft swinging to deal with Lochlin and his
When
bullshit.
I was really young, I used to get car sick. This is another dosage story. So anyway, my mom used to give me Gravol, and we got in the car and we were on a road trip, and I was like 5, 6, 7 years of age, and I was bitching in the car. I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna get sick. You didn't give me Gravol. So my mom was annoyed, and so she pulls it out of her purse, throws the fucking whole box back at me. Like, lock, never just take one lock. I ate the whole box of Gravol.
Oh my god! I knew kids
That
in
time
high
they
school
did
that
take me to the hospital.
Yeah,
And I was fucked. I
That's
had
nice
this
of
little suitcase that I had with me, and I had my crayons and Lego and all my shit in it. And I remember standing. I had a very vivid memory of me standing at the end of the hallway waiting to see somebody, and I would take this little suitcase and I would put it down on the ground, and it would like multiply all the way down the hallway. And then I'd pick it up and it would go right back into my head. And I just kept there. I stood there. I don't know how long I stood there, probably half an hour, just picking up the suitcase. Parking meters were talking to me. Holy fuck.
Oh yeah.
I was a wreck. Don't eat a whole box of Gravol.
No, we used to know kids in high school that used to do it to get high, and it's like acid. It's like fucking taking acid.
I can't stop laughing at you, like in that little suitcase. Oh my god,
Oh, dude, you were dosed. Rob here, Rob Gill, our friend Rob, he's like, Locke, I'm 2 years sober and weed has helped a lot. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you.
See, I don't have a problem with my drinking. Should we repeat that again?
That's right. Yeah,
I forgot,
Ashley's
we're not
uncle,
judging.
same thing. Ashley's uncle, the same thing. He switched it over to weed and he became a master green
Nicer
thumb
person?
gardener. Knows a very much nicer person.
Master.
Knows how to
I love
garden
the
things.
guys that start a hobby. Like,
Well,
they
it's
start
and the
on
hobby is
weed,
weed.
and all of a sudden they're raising bees.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound nice though? Rather than yelling at your wife and beating your kids, you're raising bees.
You become
It's
a
nice.
beekeeper. Yeah, you're like, I don't know. I just got right into beekeeping when I quit drinking.
I'm breeding poodles now. I got 12 of them.
It's true. It's true because the other day I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, "Do you have any hobbies?" I'm like, "Thinking about taking up painting." I literally said that. I'm like, I think I'm at the I'm going to take up painting portion of my life where everybody
entered
takes
that
up
stage,
painting.
have we?
Stage. It's a stage in the weed.
Yeah. I think I'm a painter. I think I'm going to do scene work on canvas. I believe I'm into water pastels.
Yeah.
Potlow Picasso.
Oh man, I've been reading a lot about paper mache lately.
I think I'm going to get right into
I can
paper
make
mache.
Christmas ornaments for
I
everybody.
was watching Squid Game the other day, and there was an origami scene in it, and I was like, "Fuck, I might get into origami because I smoke a lot of pot and I don't drink, and everybody needs a weird hobby when you're a fucking pot smoking hippie. Everybody does."
I was this close to getting into bonsai trees once, but I was just drunk and I was Googling and I thought they looked really cool.
Hey, did you see they're coming out with Squid Game 2, season 2? Have you guys fucking
No.
seen this? Yeah. Got greenlit. They're doing
I'll watch that.
Oh shit!
Fuck, me too. I'll watch.
It was hard to get into at the beginning, but then and then 2-3 episodes in, I was like, okay, I'm in.
Are you guys watching The Boys?
Yes.
No.
Love it.
Is it good?
Love it.
Is it good?
It's aggressive.
Oh, fuck, it's so gross.
It's so aggressive.
You can see Seth Rogen's like written the entire series after like doing gravity bong after gravity bong, like the whole thing.
The Preacher
was
was
graphic.
like that too.
Oh yeah, dude, it was so graphic, like unnecessarily graphic. There's a scene, and I don't want to wreck it for anybody if you haven't seen season 3. The first episode of season 3. Have you seen the first episode of season 3?
Yeah,
yet?
I'm 4 in already.
The
I think
Tick.
There's another one coming down tonight.
The guy called The Tick. First scene of him and his boyfriend.
Yeah.
That scene might be the grossest thing you'll ever see in your life. It is the most graphically, disturbingly funny thing, and you're like, "Oh, Seth Rogen was high as fuck when he wrote this."
All out.
Oh.
Like they blow something up on this guy's body, and they must have sat there for like a week planning how this was gonna look.
Yeah,
because I can't. And
it's
they
bad.
nailed it.
Like it's one of the
What's
like
it on?
every
Is it on
guy on the
Netflix
plane. It's on Prime, I think.
Prime?
Yeah, every
Okay,
guy, every man with a wiener or woman with a wiener. I don't care how you identify. Every person on this planet with a wiener. If you watch that scene, that first scene, you'll be like this. God damn it!
Okay.
You're like, I was like, holy fuck, like that. I was like, oh nah.
Do I
don't
have
do
to
that.
start
with
at season 1 or can I
Catches-
start at season 3?
You can start at season 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is like legitimately the most fucking graphically incredible show on television right now, without question.
It is. It's you have to watch it. I
gonna
mean,
try it tonight.
if you're a nerd though, if you're like into the whole superhero thing and you understand what color crystal was up Aquaman's bum to give him powers, you're not gonna like The Boys at all.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Aquaman. It's a crystal in his ass.
No, it
Is that
isn't.
what it is?
Yeah,
No,
he
it
hooped.
isn't.
He hooped
No, he
something.
didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He's just.
Well, how can he breathe underwater then?
Well, you can breathe underwater because it's a movie, mostly.
You know
It's all
what?
Made up.
Also is really good is Barry. Have you guys ever watched Barry?
Bill Hader.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck, I love that
I
show.
like him. I think
It's
he's funny.
so good.
I gotta watch it. I'm between. You see, this is my problem. Is that I got The Boys tonight. Sorry, I got The Boys Friday. I got Obi-Wan tonight. I'm on Yellowstone. That's like my filler series. I started to get into Yellowstone. That is fucking unbelievable, by the way. If you haven't watched Yellowstone, you gotta watch Yellowstone.
I've got to
Yeah,
I got to be more like you guys.
So good.
I get jealous. Like the last series, the last show that I got really fucking into, I swear to God, was Breaking Bad. And since then, it's been like everybody tells me watch this, and
Don't
I do.
watch The Lincoln Lawyer. I got to get that out. That's
No,
awful.
don't worry, I won't. It just looks
People
stupid.
kept telling me to watch Lincoln Lawyer.
That's a
It's
movie,
fucking
right? No, I mean
No,
a
it's
series.
serious.
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Don't watch
I
it.
remember there was a Matthew McConaughey movie called The Lincoln Lawyer. So
It's not that. It's
Okay.
it's
I
awful.
watched a porn called The Lincoln Log once.
Yeah.
was it good?
No.
Did you do this when you saw the penis?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You might like. Linz isn't gonna like Yellowstone.
Yeah, he would.
No.
No.
Can't tell him what he's gonna like and what he doesn't
No.
like according to television shows. You
I'm
barely
just
even fucking
basing
met the
it-
guy. You met him once.
Basing it on. I'm basing
No,
it
you'll
on
like it.
your Breaking Bad.
Oh,
You'll
really?
love Barry,
Okay.
and you might enjoy The Boys. The problem with Yellowstone is it's Dean.
It's
take your
fucking
headphones
awesome.
off. No,
What?
take your headphones off. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Go ahead.
Don't listen.
I'm not listening.
It's a little like Dallas. Like Who Shot
No,
JR?
it isn't like Dallas or
supposed to
Knots
listen.
Landing or Dynasty.
Yes,
I'm listening. It's not
It
like
is.
Okay.
Dynasty.
It's a little.
No, it
I'm
isn't.
sorry. It's got
Sorry.
that. Beth is too much.
I forgot one show, and I hope you both, and Dean especially, have you guys watched The Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yes.
Holy
Danny
fuck,
McBride?
that's a great show.
That's a good show.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anything with Danny McBride and John
gotta
Good,
watch
like John
Barry.
Goodwin's been my hero since I was.
I'm
a
gonna
kid. I
watch
love
Barry,
that
dude. I'm
guy.
writing these down.
Dude, you gotta watch Barry.
All right,
Linz, you'll love Barry.
Barry.
Don't watch Yellowstone.
Don't watch Yellowstone, and The Boys.
Another thing you could watch, you should Google. It's called The Blue Waffle. That's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I went.
Just giving you.
"Oh."
Can you imagine waking
Ugh.
up and having that? Like,
No.
What happened?
Can you imagine
Should I
going
see
home
somebody?
after? Can you imagine going home
Someone
after
call my
an
mom.
evening at the bar, and that revealing itself to you, the blue waft. Can you imagine going?
We've all had.
Oh, I'm
We've
sorry.
all had times.
I forgot. I got to leave.
Hey, Mom, can you come have a look at this? Should I see a doctor?
Jesus Christ.
Mom, come pick me up, please. I'm at this lady's house. I need you to come pick me up.
Stacy in the comment section, she's like, I'm not Googling that. Good idea. Don't Google it. Whatever
Don't
you do.
Google docking either.
Soft docking, any sort of docking. Unless you're trying to moor a boat,
Yeah.
don't Google that.
Yeah, don't. It's a bad idea. Thanks for doing this, boys. I really appreciate it. Great to see you
So
guys
I gotta
today.
buy weed, beer.
Yeah, Molo.
I got a shopping list. I'm supposed to get some cheesecake thing for Army Chris's dinner tomorrow.
Go do it right now. Go do it. I'm telling you, you'll have a blast. You will have a blast. You'll have a great time.
All right.
So
Try
we're
it.
doing
Weeds
this
Just
are
Friday?
try
down
it.
by the pizza shop that I go to all the time. I'm hoping they have beer.
They
Do all of them have beer?
Yeah, they should. Yep.
Every
they all get
single
like
weed
mixed
store
drinks,
has
beer, seltzers, water,
Do you have
juice.
chains
Yeah.
there, like cannabis
Who?
chains, like chain stores? Like, is there a chain of
Like One Plant,
cannabis
Miss
stores?
Jones, Tokyo
there-
Smoke, that kind
Tokyo
of stuff.
Smoke.
Fire and Flower.
Iron Flour is the
Yeah.
one chain that I recognize.
They probably have
You
it.
know
They'll
what
have
they
it.
do in Alberta? They have a lot of discount ones, like cheap weed. I'm making it up, like, but it's all discount stuff. They're
If you're a listener of the podcast, hit Lock Up on Twitter and let him know.
Send me
if
a
you're from
DM.
Edmonton, send him a DM so he knows where to go. You guys will know better than he will.
because I've never been in one.
Yeah.
I can't
I-
believe that.
I don't smoke.
I've just always been so impressed by them. I don't smoke either, but they
ordered
look
the-
so cool when you go in.
I
Sorry.
ordered the gummies online.
Yeah.
And I get those once a year, maybe. I get like a 10-pack of 5 milligram ones, and that's it.
Dude, go shopping. It's so fun to go in there and go, wait a second. Like the first time you go into a real dispensary, if you haven't been,
Impressive.
you walk in and you're like, oh my God, they've got chocolate bars. They got this, they got that, they got this. It's incredible. They got booze, they got smoke, they got flour, they got distillate, they got tinks, they got everything. Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great life.
This is great. I need another habit.
Yeah, you do. You're going to have a lot of fun. Black Crypto says this. He's like, oh, no, wrong one. This guy, I love this suggestion for you. Get you a McGangbang and some Tanqueray lock.
I don't even know what that means.
Me neither.
It's a strain of weed, McGangbang, I believe.
Okay.
It's like their own language.
And some gin. The crypto guys.
No.
I'm
he-
glad
good
we
dude.
did this.
He's a great
we
follow,
weren't going
that
to do
guy.
a pod today.
he
Yeah, I'm
is.
glad. And then we
Yeah.
full 2 hours.
Are you feeling better?
I'm sick. I got a cold or something. I was supposed to go. I was really excited. I was actually going to go down to this. I had a meeting I had to cancel. So we weren't going to do a show. And then after the meeting, I was going to hit this Van Gogh thing, which I like this immersive experience. Speaking
It's
of
cool.
hobbies, because
Yeah,
I'm
we
thinking
had-
of
I've been
getting
to
into
that Van
painting.
Gogh thing.
I heard it's fucking incredible. And
It's-
so
you
we
have
have
to go.
tickets. A friend of mine and I have tickets. And I'm like, I got a cold. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it.
Get
I
better and
can
go to
make
that.
it. And she's like, no, you can't. You can't. If you're sick, you probably should. I'm like, fuck, I want to go. But I'll go another
We
time.
went when it was here, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Is
my,
it?
I was blown away. I'm not even a big art guy, but it was my wife.
yeah,
and
my
I,
ex
it
and
was
my
so
daughter
cool.
went, and they said it was absolutely fucking phenomenal. And
Mm-hmm.
Ashley really wants to go too, so we might go.
There's that street artist display too. Is it still in Toronto? You know the guy that no one knows who he is. He does artwork all the time.
Banksy.
Did you go to the Banksy one, Dean?
No, I did not. But I
Yeah,
would
I
go to
go-
the Banksy one again. I'm in
It's
that stage of my life where you're like, oh, I need a hobby. Maybe I'll start going to more art shit.
Yeah.
I wanted to go tonight, but
Banksy.
Don't sell the
Also
paper
an
mache idea short.
I won't. Thanks for doing this, guys.
Totally
Appreciate it. Great to see you.
Doing paper mache.
Lochlin Cross is 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him at Lochlin Cross on Twitter. Give him a follow. That is Ryan Lindley. You can subscribe to his podcast called the Sheeple Shepherd Podcast and follow him on Twitter as well at Ryan Lindley. Look for his stuff at deanblundell.com. Also, a quick reminder: what time do you start with James's podcast? By the way, he's never going to be able to rein that in. I got to talk to him after this. Too many people.
We talked about it just before this podcast too. I think you're right. This is going to be a bit of a shit show, so maybe a phone call from you actually would be warranted here.
Yeah.
But that starts at 7 tonight. It's James and I at first for a half an hour, and then we're going to bring the guests in. So I don't know. You
More of
talk
this
to him.
Klondike bullshit.
Break the guests up.
It's not my show. I'm just there to assist. I'm there to.
He would love advice from me.
Maybe you should call. Lockwood told me to sell my microphone.
and a cheesecake.
Yeah.
That's my fucking afternoon. All right,
But yeah,
boys.
7 o'clock, Blackball, the podcast on the Dean Blundell Network tonight with Justin Ling, David Wallace, and Richard Marsh, and Nathan Jacobson, and his dog, and their neighbor, and the mailman.
That'll be good. No, I'm actually excited to see it because
sounds like a
Justin
great
Ling's
idea.
going to be there, and
Yeah.
he wants to ask these guys questions, and he's a good reporter, and he's kind of trying to follow the story. It doesn't matter how or where he's writing this for. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, listen, the whole Klondike, all the Klondike bullshit, I don't care who writes it. It's not ours. I fucking find it fascinating, and I just hope we get to the bottom of some of the stuff and we figure it out because it's a fucking great story.
Exactly.
That's it. So, yeah, it'll be
tune in
interesting.
tonight.
Thanks, Locke. Appreciate it. That's
You guys
tonight.
you guys are A-okay in my books.
All right.
We
Good
love you.
afternoon.
Talk to you soon, boys.
Ciao, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we got the tunes going still. Do. Da, 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 da. That's it for us. Oh, I'm learning what a McGangbang is from Big Black Crypto. The McGangbang originally started by putting a McChicken or Junior Chicken in Canada between a double cheeseburger and a McDouble stacked and stuffed, called a McGangbang. I had no idea. I learned something every day. Apparently, it's not a new strain of weed. Thanks, dude. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on this very show. 3 o'clock, I believe. DeanBlundell.com. Bye, Rick. Bye, everybody else. Think for yourselves. Don't take sides. Take the side of common sense. It's usually probably the best way to do it, to do life. Thanks to our friends at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. EasyAutoFinancial.ca is where you can find financing for that vehicle that no one wanted to give you financing for. They're ninjas. It's what they do. No obligation. It's like turnkey buying a car. It doesn't matter what your credit rating looks like, good, bad, indifferent. They take care of it for you, send you to get the car that you need. Go to easyautofinancial.ca for more details today. There is no obligation. If you're looking for a car, this is your best bet. 100% hundo, as the kids say. Also, thanks to our friend at Ed's Fine Imports. Ed and his friends have developed underwear that you need to buy. It's called Gitch, G-I-T-C-H. The promo code, if you want free underwear, Gitch3, G-I-T-C-H, then the number 3. Go to edsfineimports.com. Order 3 pair. He'll send you a free pair with that promo code. Clothing for men and boys, too. Massive online store. But his underwear are the best. Gitch by Ed at edsfineimports.com. Check them out today. And, of course, our friends at Domination helping us do our promos, do content now for a couple of years. We appreciate them. You should try them for free. Go to dmntn.com. They help you do promos with your content in 70 pieces in like 5 minutes. Super easy to use. Free to try for the first I think it's the first go around. I'm not too sure how many efforts you get or how many different files you can plug in. I think it's one and you can give it a go. But it's super inexpensive to try after that as well. And it helps you, saves a ton of time. So use them today. Go to domination.com, DMNTN.com, and have a great day, everybody. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Fastest lightning. It was a little bit frightening. It was expert fighting. I think that's how it goes. Everybody was kung fu fighting. I heard they were fast as lightning. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.